642, and you Sack Life, beat depression. It's day 642, and you know what we're about to do. Get on another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, anybody who's tuned in now, anyone who's tuning in later. As you know, the show, first and foremost, is about mental health, focusing on those mental health tools that we all have available to us. And the first mental health tool we want to cover is that gratitude tool. The more we use it, the easier it becomes to use, the easier it becomes to find those silver linings in life. And my gratitude, first and foremost, gonna go out to you guys and girls out there for tuning in. Let's see who's here first. Lisa the Luminary, Luca, XOJR, Simon Amaze. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, everybody for being here now and being a part of this growing family we've got going, supporting each other all over the world. Also, shout out to Slayer Ken and Mel the Blind Fury. Appreciate your support out there. Appreciate you guys. And that's not all for my gratitude section. Also want to shout out gratitude to Century Martial Arts for donating this shirt, sweet shirt, Way of the Warrior. Out here, it's got some cool samurai stuff going on there. I want to shout out to them for supporting the cause, and want to shout out some gratitude to the lit superstar Sebastian Cage out here for doing that promo with us about a year ago back in SACKLIFE Studios #1, and then sharing that with the world and helping us raise awareness as well. So we're all out here empowering one another, supporting one another, and it's good for everybody involved. So shout out to gratitude to all those guys, including you guys and girls out there, for being a part of this. And that's the end of my gratitude section. So go ahead and think about your gratitude section, and that'll help put you in that positive mindset as we move into today's lesson. Also want to shout out to Mad with Hats, tuning in, and Watasha, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate that support, man. That being said, we talked about the gratitude tool. We talked about my piece of gratitude. Think about yours. That'll put you in that positive mindset. And then the next tool we're going to talk about is the list tool. Lucas said with gratitude for you. Appreciate that, buddy. I'm grateful for you too, man. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're tuning in. Glad you're finding ways to deal with stress and anxiety out there in healthy ways. Focusing that type of energy in a healthy direction. Now, one of the other tools we want to focus in on is our list tool, our progress tracking tool. Now, for me, it's been 642 days of consecutive progress, no days off. And that number has a tremendous amount of power in my life personally, because I can look at it and know that nothing is going to stop me. But even if I'd missed a day, which I haven't, not yet, hopefully it's not going to happen, been here every day. But even if I did miss a day, I wouldn't reset this number back to 0. I wouldn't lose all of this proof that I have overcome the debilitating effects of depression and anxiety. I wouldn't lose all of this evidence of strength and endurance. And I want you guys to remember that too. This is not like a physical fitness program where you lose progress if you miss days. We never lose progress. That number only grows larger, or it stays the same until we get back to it. But we never lose progress out here. So even if you miss a day, don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up. It's human. It's normal. Our goal is to stay with a routine that's sustainable. So by tuning into our skill level and pushing to our level every day, we make it sustainable, and hopefully it will be a daily goal for you. But even if you miss 1 day or 2 days or a month or whatever, make sure you're keeping track of that number and you recognize that this is what you can do and this is what you can look forward to every single day. So, yes. And please do share that number with the world, because it's inspiring to know that other people out there are pushing forwards, keeping track, and building this solid physical proof of their strength and endurance as we wipe depression off the face of the planet together forever. Ken just shared his progress as well. 250 days for Ken. Good stuff, brother. Proud of you for staying consistent for all that time, getting closer and closer to that year mark. I know Lisa's up there. Lisa's got 342, also getting close to that year mark. Good stuff, Lisa. Appreciate you guys and girls out there for continuing on, for keeping on. And I don't, that's a long number. Luca mentioned. I don't know what that's a lot of numbers, man. If you get to that many days, you let me know. But keep track of that progress. Write it down in a journal, on a calendar, anywhere, that daily goal accomplishment, because it does mean a lot mentally first. And that's what we want to focus in on first. The goals of this program: more mental resiliency, more mental toughness, if you want to call it that, so that we can handle the stresses of life. We can handle the challenges, because we're going to get hit with challenges, right? Things are not going to always go according to plan. Look at this deck behind me. I set out to cover the whole thing in tiles. What happened? Multiple challenges. It's been wet every day for the last week and a half, which means I can't do what I planned. But even when things don't go according to plan, we still have to do what we can, right? It doesn't mean we're helpless just because things went wrong or something got in the way. It means we just have to find ways to adapt and keep going forwards. And that's what we're doing here today. We're still getting in our daily dose of progress and success, even if other things are trying to bum us out or get us down. Claire's not here today because she had a bad day. I'm sorry about that, buddy. I hope she feels well. I hope she's doing better soon. Appreciate Claire out there fighting forwards when she can, how she can, and let her know we're thinking about her. So, yeah. All right. So we covered gratitude, the list tool, progress tracking. Now we're going to get into the lesson. Yesterday we had an active recovery session in which we practiced some elbows at low intensity, nice slow speed, building some muscle memory. Today I want to tap into that muscle memory. We're going to use those elbows again in a higher intensity session. So we're going to do our standard rounds, 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath and drink some water. Make sure you got water out there and you're staying hydrated. That's super important. We're under this awning, so when it does rain, which it will, we'll be nice and dry. We can keep going even through this thunderstorm. We'll have the fighting spirit of the 80s coming out of the boom box to fuel our passion out here as we punch forwards through the opposition. Mike EXE, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. And let's break down those elbows. So yesterday we talked about a rising elbow, right? Rising elbow, boom. And we talked about this cross-shaped elbow, and an overhand elbow as well. I think we may not do the overhand elbow, but we are going to drill some other elbow strikes. Are you scared of thunder? No. Thunder's just noise, man. Nothing to worry about. Lightning, that's dangerous. Thunder, is what it is. All right, back into stance. We're going to work from Muay Thai stance, modern balance Muay Thai stance. If you don't know what it is, check out the guide on sacklifeofficial.com. At the bottom of the free martial arts for mental health class section, breaks down the guides on Western and Western boxing and Muay Thai boxing, so you can be fully prepared for any class. In case you haven't been here before, though, we'll break down that stance very quickly. We're going to start by squaring up with our visualized target. We always visualize a dummy, a physical form in front of us, so we can practice that accuracy and land those strikes where they belong. And we're going to assign that dummy the name of the thing that we want to knock out of our day. So if it's depression, that's your depression dummy. If it's anxiety, that's your anxiety dummy. Why are they dummies? Because they base their power on lies, on falsehoods, on things like you can't, you're not strong enough, or it's not worth it. These are the lies that are fed to us by that imbalance, that serotonin imbalance in the brain, by these battles that we have to struggle with, that we have to fight through from that depression dummy. But in here, we're going to knock those lies out with the power of truth, of what we can do, right? We're up, we're on our feet, and we're fighting forward. So this is our factual proof that we are stronger than those lies that may have told us otherwise. So visualize that depression dummy. Assign it the name that you want to work on. Square up with it. Square up the hips, square up the shoulders. Your dominant hand's going to stay in back. And we're going to visualize a square on the ground, right? Everything's square. Square, nice balanced stance. We're going to visualize a square on the ground. And if you're looking down at that square, you want to leave your rear foot wherever your dominant hand is. Rear foot stays in that bottom corner of the square. Top foot goes in the top corner in a nice balanced stance. And your head should be right in the middle. Body weight nice and centered. From here, we're going to curl the hips, bend the knees just a little bit. Keep those feet angled roughly forwards. Get that guard up high by the brow line. Close the fingers, tuck the thumbs, tuck the chin. And now you are in Muay Thai stance. We're going to shift our weight here. If you're experienced, shift that weight from the front foot to the back foot. Keep the knees slightly bent. Remember to place the weight on the balls of the feet, not flat-footed. We're going to keep that heel slightly raised. That'll help us when we turn through some of these techniques. So from here, we're in modern balance Muay Thai stance. We're squared up with our opponent. Tuck that chin, guard high. We're going to step in for our first strike. And when we're doing elbow strikes, one of the things that the champ told me is that when you're using elbows, it's a close range attack. We're up close and personal. So you want to explode in with the elbow strike, get your elbow strikes out, and then explode back out. And the way we're going to do that is when we launch our first strike, instead of just stepping in, we're going to push off that back foot, kind of launch forwards off that back foot, right? Front foot comes up very slightly for the step, and as we're taking that step, we're pushing off the ball of that back foot to launch forwards. After we execute both strikes, we're going to launch backwards off the ball of that front foot. Boom, getting us back out of the way of danger, out of that danger zone, so we can keep on going and do this thing effectively and efficiently. One more time, make sure you're drinking water. And we're going to get this thing going. So we'll break down those elbow strikes as we go in our 3-minute sessions. We'll do some drilling as well, drilling through those cross elbows, boom, boom, swapping guard, practicing, refining that technique, and hopefully push each one of us to our skill level for the day. Bluetooth, okay. Alright, that's not there we go. We'll go with the creepy beat today. Alright, so go ahead and pop in to your Muay Thai stance and let's get this thing going. Visualize that dummy, guard up high. The first strike we're going to do it without the step in. This is not for combat, this is just for the sake of training. We're going to twist through. The shoulders and hips are going to move together as we twist through. And we're going to rotate those hips and shoulders together as we drop that front hand in to an invisible pocket on the chest. So that lead hand is going to come back here to the chest. We're going to press that elbow in, press the wrist into the chest, making the elbow nice and pointy. And then we're going to rotate through on the ball of that front foot. Take a look at the front foot, right? We're in guard here. We're going to rotate through on the ball of that front foot, turning on the ball, twisting through the hips and shoulders together, and taking that elbow boom, right around, right across the face of that depression dummy. So we're going to twist through on that front foot for the first elbow strike, tucking the chin in, rolling the shoulder up for defense at the same time, guard high on the opposite side. Once we're through the face of that depression dummy, we're going to swap guards. The rear hand's going to come down and press into the chest. The front hand's going to go up to retain that guard. And we're going to twist through on the rear foot, twisting through the body, through the hips and shoulders as well, keeping that elbow nice and pointing, tucking that chin into the shoulder. We're going to practice some elbow strikes. So just from Muay Thai stance, 1, 2. Visualize going right through the face of that opponent. Keep your head on that center line nice and balanced, and let's get drilling some elbows. Here we go. Alright, square up. Square up with that depression dummy and let's do this thing. We're going to hit him with that lead elbow first. Remember, you can shift your weight back and forth. Retain that balance. Keep it nice and balanced here. And we're going to rotate through, boom, for that first strike. Turning through that front foot, through the hips and shoulders. Twisting through that body to deliver that first strike. And we're going to swap guards here. Press that rear hand into the chest. Twist through on the rear foot. Boom, keeping that guard high on the opposite side. And swap the guard. We're going to just practice drilling through back and forth together. Swap that guard, twist through on the front foot, swap that guard, twist through on the back foot. Chin tuck, center line, swap the guard. Boom, 1, boom, 2. Boom, 1, boom, 2. Keep the knees bent. That will make it easy to rotate on the ball of the foot. And let's do it. Let's do it again. Drill some elbow. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you can go close guard here, close guard this way, or open palm guard. All of those things are preferences. Just go ahead. The rotation and the rest is going to be the same. Twist in for 1, twist through for 2. In for 1, through for 2. In for 1, through for 2. Boom, back to stance. And now we're going to start practicing with the step in. Go ahead and take that small step in as you twist through, right? Any guard you'd like, tuck the chin. Twist through those shoulders, swap the guard for that second strike, and then step back to your squared stance. Square up those hips and shoulders with that dummy, and let's keep it moving. Step in for the 1, boom, there it is. Rotate through for the 2, and back to stance. Step in for the 1, boom, rotate for the 2, bang, and back to stance. Keep the chin tucked. Think about that center line. Think about squaring those hips and shoulders after each combo. Step in for the 1, 2, let's hit them. Now you can make those strikes more effective by exhaling hard through pursed lips with each one. Let's hit them with the 1, 2, let's go. And back to stance. 2 elbow strikes, nice and dirty, let's go. Hit them in the face and then back into a square up. tuck that chin, keep those fists rolling, right? Keep your balanced stance, shifting that weight from the front foot to the back foot, and step in for that double elbow strike. And back to stance. We're gonna launch a little more now. We wanna launch forwards off that back foot as we twist in, boom. It's like a little hop. We're gonna hop off that back foot as you twist in, boom. Hit him in the face and then rotate through for that second strike. Launching off the front foot to push us back to our defensive stance. Let's do it. Explode in for a double elbow strike. And then explode back out. Boom, off that front foot to make some distance. Put some distance between you and your target. Visualize that target. Visualize knocking those lies out of his face. Let's go. And back out. Step in for the double elbow strike. And back out. And that's the end of round one. Catch your breath, drink some water. Make sure you're checking in on yourself. You're not pushing too hard. Make sure you're staying hydrated. No spots, no dizziness, no nauseousness in the stomach. Those are all signs of overreaching. You want to dial back that intensity. Remember, this class is about you making it your own, pushing you to your skill level. So moderate your intensity, your volume, and the speed at which you throw your strikes. That way you can give yourself a challenge, but it's still an accomplishable goal every day. Ooh. All right, we're gonna get back into it. In the next round, we're gonna continue exploding forward with that double elbow strike. We'll drill some elbows as well, and then we'll start talking about that rising elbow to the face and linking that into those combos also. And with the rising elbow, when you explode in, you can target an eye socket or a nose or a chin on that depression dummy if you'd like. And then once you're in place and you're rotating through and you're using it in combos, you can drive it up that center line and turn it into kind of an uppercut of an elbow, not targeting the chin as well, going for that knockout elbow power. But let's practice just exploding in for now with the first two elbows like we started before. Here we go. Explode in, boom, to the one, rotate through for the two, explode back out. Let's do it again. Explode in for the 1, 2. Explode out. Boom. Tuck that chin through. Make sure you're keeping it on that center line, keeping things nice and balanced. Guard high. Chin tucked, shoulders rolled, hips curled, knees bent. Keep it centered. Return to that square position after each combo. Let's do it. Explode in for the 1, 2. And explode back out. Boom. Back out. Let's go. One more time. Explode in. Explode back out, boom, and we're back in the stance. Now, we're gonna start using that rising elbow we talked about. So on your explode in, this time you're just gonna kind of comb the hair back with that lead arm and let the elbow come up nice and pointy. Bring that hand in close to the shoulder with that elbow pointy and twist through those shoulders to make it even more effective. Keep guard high on the opposite side. Let's explode into a rising elbow. Boom, there it is, right in the face of that depression dummy. Tuck the chin, keep the guard high, and explode back out on that front foot. Boom, creating distance. We're back in stance. Let's go. Explode into the rising elbow. Boom, explode back out, and keep it at a safe distance. Let's go. Explode in for the rising elbow. Boom, and explode back out. Remember, as you comb the hair back and you launch forwards, twist through those shoulders to get even more distance and stab on that elbow strike. Then blast back off that front foot, back into squared up stance. Let's go, rising elbow. There it is. Explode back out, back into stance. Keep it balanced. Give yourself some room, go at your pace. Exhale hard on that strike. 1, and then explode back out. Now we're gonna add in that cross elbow from the opposite side to follow up after the rising elbow to the face. So explode forwards with the rising elbow. Boom, right there. We're in his eye socket or in his nose. We're gonna twist right through on that rear foot, dropping this hand down into the chest. Twist through and bring that elbow around. You keep the guard high on the opposite side, and then go ahead and boost yourself back off that front foot, creating distance. Explode in for the rising elbow. Rotate through for the cross. Boom, and explode back out. Boom, back to stance. Explode in for the rising elbow. Rotate for the cross and back to stance. Keep the guard high. And that's the end of round 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. If it's a little too technical, I apologize. But over time, we'll be able to continue to refine these techniques. It'll get smoother and easier to do, and then you can do this with more intensity and more volume at your pace. Adam Bradley, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. In the meantime, make sure you're drinking water. We got 43 seconds. And then we're going to pop into the final session. We're going to crank up that intensity a little bit, crank up the speed a little bit, but make sure we don't push ourselves too hard into anxiety. All right, we got 23 seconds left, 20 seconds left. And we're going to talk about that exploding forwards into that rising elbow. I'm going to follow up with the trail cross elbow, swap guard, and put all of our moves together for that lead elbow as well. Shout out to Southpaw Cuts. Appreciate you, bro. Back there in Los Feliz. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you for being here. All right, back into stance. We're in Muay Thai stance. We're going to launch forwards with a rising elbow to the face, launching off that rear foot, twisting through the shoulders, twisting through for that rising elbow. Make sure to comb the hair back. Bam. Once we've made contact with the face of that depression dummy, we're going to drop this hand into the chest. The other one's going to come around to defend the head as we twist on that rear foot. Boom. Keeping the chin tucked and the balance square. Swap the guard. Right, this one goes into the chest and twist through on that front foot. Boom, for the follow-up elbow. Launch back, bang, back to stance. And let's do it. Step in for the rising elbow to the face. Now twist through. 1, 2, and back to stance. All right, well, let's do it without the return to stance. We're going to drill some elbows here. So launch forwards with the rising elbow to that depression dummy's face. Rising elbow in, twist through for the rear elbow, twist through for the front elbow. Rear, front, rear, front. Keep those knees bent and rotate on the ball of each foot. That'll keep you nice and balanced and let you execute this technique. Continue to twist through. Front elbow, front, rear, front, rear, front, rear. Twisting on the rear foot to bring that rear elbow around. Twisting on the front foot, bring the front elbow around. Keep it nice and balanced. Tuck that chin for balance. Keep it nice and square. Feet evenly spread apart, and let's do this thing. Keep drilling those elbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Drill at your pace here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Back to stance. Square up. Let's launch a rising elbow into the face of that depression dummy. Launch in, boom, hit him with the elbow, follow up with the cross, follow up with the third, and then launch back to stance, keep it moving. Launch in for the rising elbow, rotate through for the cross, second cross, and back to stance. Keep that guard high the whole time. Launch in for the rising elbow, rotate through for double cross elbows. 1, 2, and back to stance. Tuck that chin, roll those shoulders, let's go. Work for it. 1, 2, 3, and back to stance. Let's go. Keep that combo moving. 1, 2, 3. Remember what you're fighting for. You're fighting for you. Step into the 1, rotate for 2, rotate for 3. Back to stance. Step in for the 1, rotate for 2, rotate for 3. Keep that guard high and back to stance. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Back in it. 1, 2, 3. Keep moving. Push at your pace. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end. Woo! Of our 3 rounds of progress and success. I hope you push to your level. Challenge yourself to your level so you can continue to see that growth and continue to show up for you. Woo! Make that goal accomplishable and keep track of it. It's been 642 days of progress. I'm looking forward to the next 642 days of progress, and I hope you're looking forward to the same thing as we continue to crush those debilitating effects of depression and reinforce our own strength with the truth of what we're capable of. That number. Keep track of that. All right. Until next time. I'll catch you guys. Oh, when roses blossom. Thank you for being here. Until next time. I'll catch you guys. Same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.